Hello and welcome to In the Light, Growing Your Soul with me, Anna Isabel. And I am so happy to have this wonderful guest back. It is Mahan Hans Jacob, the author of Spirit Life and Science. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Your book is so rich. There's so much information there for anyone who is developing their psychic ability or who already is, a practicing medium, or there's so many things there that I think it should be on the bookshelf of everyone who is wanting to learn more and discover more and develop their abilities further. So that's why you're here again, and I'm so happy.
Thank you very much. So am I.
Last time we were looking specifically at mediumship.
Yeah.
But you also have a very large section in the book that's devoted to the I don't want to call it phenomena, but to the development of the ability to heal. And we can call it energy healing, we can call it whatever we like. But it's very, very good because you encourage us to find different ways of developing this ability. But particularly, you talk about healing in a very, I think, unique way.
Thank you.
And you call it extraction of pathological information.
That's my technique.
Exactly. So what is it?
You see, it is the opposite of what is known in the whole area of spiritual healing, trance healing, Reiki healing, all these techniques, they're based on the same system. When you are collecting energy from the universe and you pass it into the patient, you guide it into the patient. So that's what most healing techniques are about. Everybody explains it with his own source, but the basis is the same. We have to channel this energy and we have to filter it into the body of the animal or the person. Yet with, here we call it EPI, but in the English they say EPI. We do the opposite. And to understand how to do the opposite, we have to understand how to look at the person. And I like to take the bathtub as a comparison. Somebody just looking at the bathtub, he would say, yeah, there is a body and there is a water. Somebody looks at the human and says, yeah, there is a body and there is an energy field. If he is far enough to understand that there is an energy, but still that's way too superficial because that's not just the bathtub with the body and the water. First of all, the bathtub itself, it's nothing solid. It's always in vibration. Every material is always in vibration. So it's not solid as it may appear. And the water is not one water, but there is a billion drops. Now, there is not one body that is solid. It is everything is in movement. And there it's not one field. There is a billion particles that make a field. Now, every of these particles has its own information. So one information is saying arthrosis, another particle can say allergy to a carrot, and so forth. Now, with EPI, we are going to look for this particle and cleanse them. And if we can extract the particle, then the allergy is gone within seconds because that information that triggers it is gone. And that's how the technique works, which is, again, the opposite of what is known. Mostly to compare, it's what they do in the Philippines with psychic surgery.
Yes. So what you're saying is you can see where the pathology or where the illness or whatever you want to call it is.
I cannot see where it is. We know that all this information is in the belly. There we have to look. The memory is not in the brain at all. It is in the belly. And so the key is in the belly, and all the rest are things to enhance the energy or to cleanse an area, but that's then more electromagnetic. It's not that taking away of this particle in order to. It's like if in autumn the streets are full of leaves and the water doesn't go down anymore. If you take these weeds out, water is going. And it's the same with our energy. Well, if you can remove one of these dense particles, then the flow is there again, and these pathologies can go.
So this is about unblocking energy within the person.
I would say cleansing, but it does unblock. But first of all, we do cleanse it.
Exactly.
We have to find it and then cleanse it.
So when I said you can see where it is, I was speaking figuratively.
Oh, sorry.
No, but it's really important
Okay.
to clarify that actually.
Okay.
So that brings me to the next question, which is, how do you know where to go? And I'm also very interested in the fact that you said, the memory for it all is in the stomach area, when we know the importance of the gut microbiome and the gut in terms of physical health and actually the impact that it has on mental health too. So, and here you are at an energy level going straight to that area. But how do you know where to go and what you are doing? So you say you don't see, so this is not a clairvoyant experience. So how do you know?
Well, to me, it is a clairvoyant experience because that's my door. I'm a clairvoyant healer. Others do sense, but I thank God that, I do 45 patients a day. If I would have to sense, I wouldn't do this job. I wouldn't want that because I have very, very severe pathologies that come to me. So I'm thankful for that. But some of my therapists, they sense it, they don't see it. Others see it like me. So yes, and it is very easy once, and it is sure, clairvoyant is sure extra sensitive. How you say extra? If it's out of the five senses,
For sensory.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. And if you get it, you can see how it becomes clear. That's my trigger to know, okay, I can let it go. I have taken what I can. And again, allergies, I'm so famous for allergies because of the journalists, because they always want to film something where they have the result in a minute. If we work on a liver and they have to wait 3 months for the new blood test to see where the cirrhosis is or what, it's not interesting for them. So that's why everybody speaks about allergy when it comes to my technique. But we have more of other things than of allergies that we treat. But with the allergies, that's really how it shows how quickly, if the particle is removed, the body follows, energetic field follows, and you cannot have one energy and another body. If your elbow is hurt, your energy is bound to be hurt at the elbow, and we have to adjust this. And same on with every other pathologist. The energy always reflects the physical.
So talk us through this then. You're clairvoyant, and so in your mind's eye, you can see where you need to go to extract something. But you also said that you always have to go to the stomach area, which would be the solar plexus area. How how does that work then? Because as you said, somebody might have an injury on their shoulder or their neck. Are you then going to both places, or are you saying, okay, we deal with this area, but then the root of it is in the solar plexus area? How does that work?
Well, it's the other way around. First, you do the memory, of course. There's no sense to go local if it's still the inscription there in your memory. It's like if somebody has a rash with an allergy, there is no sense to taking eye drops because the information is still there and the allergy is still going on. He would need an antihistamine. So, yeah.
Good. Okay. So let's talk more about this memory. Is it a memory of physical trauma that has led to the allergy, or that has led to the pain in whichever part of the body? Or is it memory of emotional trauma that led to the physical trauma? Is it past life things? How do you?
It can be many things. I do not need to know where it comes from as long as I clean it out. Yet there is some pathologies that really appeared when there was a loss of a person, like a dear mom, and since then there is the allergy, or since then there is the skin problems very often with shocks like that. But you don't need a big shock, a big car accident. A boy can sit home at his table and eating his cornflakes, and at this moment, maybe the parents yell at each other, or he gets yelled at, or something, and that can make that milk is not good for me. And from that day on, he is intolerant to milk. Or the same in a field, he wants to pick up something dirty. Yeah, you don't touch the. And from then on, because he's breathing in pollen, he is allergic to pollen. And many things we pick him up with very simple traumas.
It's very interesting that you say that, because one thing we know about dogs with sensitivity to loud bangs like fireworks is that they can show no sensitivity, no fear of it for a long time, and then suddenly they become afraid. And people say, but 6 years old, never had a problem, suddenly he's shaking if there are fireworks going off. And one of the reasons is the pairing of the noise with some sort of discomfort. So, for instance, maybe he wasn't feeling too good and a loud bang went off, and the association is made between the loud bang and not feeling good, or because we don't know sometimes when they're in pain. Maybe, he had a little bit of pain, the shock came, and so the body tightened up, the pain came more, and now every time there's a bang, the body tenses up and there's pain, etc. So that mirrors exactly what you're talking about, where you can have these seemingly small incidents that cause associations unconsciously.
They can have a long impact, yeah.
Yeah.
There, exactly, you're right. I agree totally.
Yeah. So that was a very illustrative explanation that you gave there. Is all illness, do you feel that all illness is emotional at its core? Or do you feel that there are some which are caused by external factors such as toxicity, exposure?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I really don't know. I have been wondering, but I couldn't say it's like this or it's like that. You see, it's a tricky question, because if we start from scratch from the human nature, where we have a body and we have a spirit and we have an essence, or some people call it soul, then we know that our body is changing at every second. We know that our spirit is changing at every second. Every thought is imprinting. Every thought is imprinting. Whether I'm thinking, oh, I have to go and buy a new shampoo, or well, I think I want to do this or that. Everything, or I don't, whatever. And what is thought with aversion or with craving, these are dense particles in the lower part of the spine, and the brighter the thoughts are, the higher they write in. But so this human nature, as I see it, and all these particles that make our field, is just a second. They all have resonance or not. You do resonate or you do not. It's like magnets. Now, my quality, whatever it is, XY, my quality XY, has with some people, some happenings, a resonance and not with others. I believe that's how our karma works. It's not somebody up there who says, no, this figure we go there, and this, we run over by a car, and this one goes there. And I do not trust in that. I do not believe in that. I believe that this is already organized before we even come. It's not organized, somebody organizes what I will do, but it's organized that what I decide to do, the free will is the main thing. So I believe that's how the whole thing works. And so these imprints, they can be very old. We are still carrying them, especially if it's hatred or if it's strong cravings. So it's really hard to say how this is all built up, because yes, we come in with the full information from last life, full. I mean, we forget it up here, but our system carries it. I mean, if you read Dr. Stevenson, that has researched all these children, past lives, how they still have an influence on their physical body and pathologies. And he has spoken to, I believe, over 3,500 kids. And they have formal proof of that continuing information in the spirit when he is incarnating again. So obviously this is a very big source, and then the other sources are during this life in everything we encounter. And then it depends on the person what his inscriptions will be, because you and I, we can encounter exactly the same situation, and you go, cool with it, let's see, we see, no problem. They go, la, 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 la. And I have completely different inscription than you that go within, yeah, let's see, God will make it, or, you know, whatever. It's just to explain that one situation is not one particle, it's how you react, what you inscribe.
Exactly. And I think what was also very helpful was you talking about, you know, how there is this element of magnetism, in a sense, of repelling and attraction, and attraction. And I think it is difficult to know, because whether it's, you know, all emotional, or whether there's an, you know, it's external factors, because ultimately everything comes from within, because we're either, you know, why is it that I might be able to eat something that's toxic to somebody else, but not to me. And so there, you know, there's belief out there that actually it doesn't matter how toxic something is, if you reject its toxicity, it's not going to affect you. And you kind of think, is that possible? But then when we think about what you said, everything vibrating,
yeah,
and there's something about that vibration that's going to attract or repel, then there's something there that always comes back to the individual and the mind.
As long as the particle is alive, yes.
As long as the particle is alive, yes, yes. So it always comes back to us, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So do you feel that, or do you believe that belief plays a large part in how we handle toxicity, whether it's emotional toxicity, whether it's mental or physical toxicity?
Uh, um, yes. For the belief, there is a difficult side and a good side. The difficult side is that people just believing, if it gets difficult, usually that belief system crumbles. As long it has not been built up through pragmatic thought, construction of pragmatic thought, which we will need. Everything that is only belief has no fund to it. It's just a belief. And again, when it's difficult, this is very shaky. Yet, the very, very good side of believing is that every thought is imprinted. So if I believe or pray this and this will happen to me or whatever, every time I put this thought in me, and this particle can then resonate to attract what it is wishing. That's why you have to be careful what you wish, because it may come.
And that's just a beautiful concept in itself. But then there is something else too. Another way in which you can see this working would be the placebo or versus the nocebo, because that is very much about the power of belief to affect a physical change. And yes, so
I do not put the placebo in the same category than just believing. A placebo, often we are accused that our treatments are placebo. And then I can bring them animals I have never seen, and they heal with me, but not before. I can bring them toddlers that have been in 30 different hands. Nobody could help, no doctor, no nothing. But then with us, it's placebo if they get better. After 30 hands where it was not. So we have to relate it. And then we have also nocebo. Is this also English?
yes.
Yes. And it's the similar thing. We do know that, for example, in homeopathy or something with EPI, we have a detox. Like the rest of the zits come out, or the rest of the eczema comes out, or for a few days you have it's worse. This nocebo, if I tell people that you may have it, but it's not nice, but it's very beneficial, they want to produce it. Like others, I can give them, I can never promise that they get better. And they ask me, well, how about thyroid? I said, thyroid, about 80% of the people have better. This could give a placebo. So we have to differentiate what is a placebo and what is the positive thought about getting healthy, which is not the same.
Yeah. And I think what you're illustrating there again is the power of the mind, which is why I brought up
very much
and the nocebo, because however nuanced differences might be, it's the common denominator is the mind and the power of the mind that plays in that. And absolutely, that is very different from healing, which can be performed. And it's the evidence for that is with animals classically and with toddlers, because they are not operating in a conscious belief system, but the energy, works just fine. So I think that is that's very, very helpful if people are wondering, that this is happening. whether this is happening. So come back now to your technique. How did you begin to develop this ability?
That started in the Philippines in 2007 or 2008, I don't remember the year, where I was with a community of spiritual healers, and one lady who does psychic surgery. And then we went very, very, very far up, well, 12 hours driving and walking hours in the mountain to bring food to the poor. And up there was a shack, which was their temple, but there's nothing else. It's just a few cottages and this temple. And in there, this lady went in trance and was predicting to everybody that I will do this in Europe. I will do psychic surgery in Europe. And everybody was very touched. And, yeah. And okay, so much for that. And so that's important to know in 2008. And then I went to visit another very famous healer, Reverend Mucha. He has at the time worked with people from Hollywood. He was a very, very famous healer. And when I went there, the center was empty and there was his wife. He said, no, he's dying. He's dying these days. I said, well, can he talk? She said, yeah. Said, tell him there's a healer from Switzerland. I want to give him healing. And she goes, no, 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 no. I said, yeah. I stayed there until she went. She goes, no, no, no. I was at... Anyway, sorry. And then she come back and said, please say yes. So I went in there and he was lying there. Really, it's just like bones and skin. And he must have been way in his 80s, or I don't know how old. And I gave him healing. And I asked if I could come the next day. And he said, yes, his wife heard it. He said, yes. So, okay, the next time I come back, he's sitting outside drinking tea. And I go, oh, and it's so different, so different. But I mean, she knows healing, but still, she was so different. And I saw him 3 times. And the 3rd time, he initiated me how he accesses. That's all I got. And then there was nothing for 5 years. And at once in the clinic, it started when I was on a healing. But 5 years later, so from the announcement and everyone, yeah.
What do you think happened in those 5 years within you? Were you...
I know, it started, there was a lady, and she came because she couldn't have babies. And I was then working with therapeutic touch as a technique and trance healing. And I was on her stomach, and then my hand starts to shake, and then the navel fills with blood. And I mean, I take a paper and I take this blood away, and she doesn't see it. And I was like, oh, but then like a second later, I knew it. And when I took the blood away, there was nothing. And never again since there was a drop of blood. Because Spirit World told me that we don't need it anymore. Energy is enough. And this lady had a child after. So that's how it started. But up to today, she doesn't know what has happened with her belly. I couldn't tell. I told other people only later. And I wouldn't want blood because in Switzerland, with our doctors and stuff, they would not allow that.
No. And you are working with doctors in clinics.
Yes. So, it's still difficult, huh? Some send me people, even doctors I don't know send me people, and others just don't want to talk about because they're afraid of other doctors, what they would say.
Yeah, that's fairly universal, sadly. So when you say there was blood, you mean there was actual physical blood that began to come out?
Yeah, the navel was filled with blood. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
Obviously from her, because my hands were not bleeding. And that is the only time. That was very brief. That was like 10 seconds or so.
Yes. I can imagine that must have been somewhat alarming for you.
Yeah, looks. Huh?
Yeah. What have I done? Yeah.
Yeah, but very quickly I was calm and sure,
Yeah.
especially when I wiped it and then it was closed. I said, ah, yeah, okay.
Okay. So
Maybe it's just to show me that it's there now. I don't know. I
yeah,
really don't know.
I can imagine that that it didn't happen by accident, that it was probably something to say to you, hey, look, this is real.
Yeah.
This is real. So I come back to the original question was in the those 5 years, were you developing your healing abilities? Were you developing your mediumship abilities? Was there a kind of um, hidden apprenticeship that you were doing without realizing?
No, I have always, in those years, I was still sitting 3 to 4 hours every morning, getting up really early and sitting until my daughter wakes up. And I have always been in retreats. I've done maybe 40 plus retreats in silence where we just center, center, center. Uh, I've been working. It's not just, it doesn't
Ex-
just,
exactly. And that's what I wanted to make clear is that, you know, there is a dedication to your work that
yeah,
is very important. So when you are now teaching this, because you mentioned that you have students,
yeah.
so when you are now working with students, how are you teaching this?
The first part is to get clear with its personal spirit and sensitivity. First, you have to not believe, but know that you have a spirit, that you are a spirit, then have to learn how to interact with it and how to use it. And because you cannot do API if you do not have a psychic consciousness. So first we try that. And when this is set, then people come into API training.
Good. Well, that's absolutely wonderful. Um, I think if people wanted to learn this, and they're in different parts of the world, are you doing this online? How are you? Do they have to be in Switzerland with you, or are there other places where they can go and explore this?
No, it is an idea. It's for the moment only an idea to have this online one day. For the moment, even now I'm based in the French part of Switzerland. Now we have just started the class with the German speaking, and they travel over here. They cross the whole country to do that. In Switzerland, you know, I have a prime time TV report. In Switzerland, they know about it, so people really want to learn it.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
America, I've never done anything, I must say. I mean, the book is also in English because of the UK, and I've been teaching in the UK. But America is, I would like to go give conferences one day, you know, introduction seminars, and then to see from there. But it's complicated because you need somebody over there who has the skills, administration skills, and understanding. So it's not easy.
It is difficult. I seem to remember that you had links with the Arthur Findlay College here. Uh,
I'm an Arthur Findlay College teacher. I'm a full medium teacher in Arthur Findlay College, and I'm a approved healer at Arthur Findlay College.
yes. So I was wondering whether you are ever doing courses in healing here in the UK with the Arthur Findlay College.
No, no. At the time this is not in talks. I don't really have contact anymore with these people,
Ah, okay.
and I don't really know anymore who is in charge and things. So I don't know really what they're doing now. But
Okay.
it's still the best college in the world from renovation.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm wanting to get a sense of for our audience is what do they do if they want to develop this ability? So they've read the book, they're very excited, they're doing things on their own, but they want to do more. Um, at the moment, they're going to have to get on a plane and go to Switzerland. Is that correct?
Yes, so at the moment there is nothing in the UK or maybe in 26 earliest.
Yeah, maybe. Um, be, and hopefully, maybe one day you might be able to do some things online as well, so that
Yeah, that's a subject, but this will also be another 2 years for sure.
yeah, because
Yeah.
you are very, very busy. Your hands are very, very full. Um, if somebody is really wanting to develop this, but they can't be there with you in person, or they're just beginning on their journey into healing, besides getting your book, what would you say to them as a means of little tips
And
or
besides the book, in the book are exercises. The back part, the last third of the book is
that's right.
all exercises.
And
So,
and
yeah,
I
if
enjoyed
somebody
them
wants
very
to,
much. But what I'm asking is beyond that. So you got the book and you're doing the exercises. Are there any little bits of encouragement that you can give to a person?
because you are a spirit, you can speak to spirit.
I like
Because you are a spirit, you can heal spirit.
brilliant. That's exactly what I was looking for. A lovely bit of encouragement and a reminder of who we are and what we are capable of doing. Thank you so much for your time
It's a
today.
pleasure. It's a pleasure. Where are you based?
In London.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So it's a joy to have been able to speak with you again. I hope that we will repeat this at some point in the future. Thank
Yes.
you so much. I'll be putting a link to the book, which is Spirit, Life, and Science, in the description box, as
Right.
well as your website. So, what is your website?
It's just my name written together.ch.
That's it. Good. Wonderful. It will be in the description box. Thank you so much
Okay.
for your time.
Thank you. Do you send me a link?
I will definitely send you a link.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. I wish you all the best. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And thank you all for watching.
Yeah.
Until next time. And next time, we're going to carry on with this theme of communication because we are going to be learning about communicating with plants. Until then, goodbye.